We should return to a more Keynesian economic system
It's an old snack for hula hoops.
as a basis for stable growth
Cold, overnight oats.
and a more equal, affluent society.
Who have we got this week?
We've got Nick
Hi.
Byard.
Hi, guys. Hi, fellas.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hello.
Nicholas.
Nick, please.
Nick. Okay. You had your special recently.
Yes. Legitimate grievance.
Legitimate
Nice.
grievance.
Yeah.
Sounds quite was it quite a serious show, quite dark.
No. It's what I do. So
Is it about grief?
no.
Oh.
It's about it's sort of like jokes with political undertones. That's my kind of thing.
Why would you call it grievance if there's no grief in it? Because you don't want people to advertise something and then people come along and it's not what you said it would.
You
be.
might
No, it's
get
not a grievance.
bereaved people coming along thinking this could be helpful.
And then they might have a legitimate grievance once it's not what they thought
That's
it
a
would be.
fair point, yes.
So in a kind of ironic way,
Then you've got litigation, and then you'd have to have another show called Legitimate Litigation.
Well, like Lenny
That's
Bruce.
Too much, isn't it, then?
like what?
Lenny Bruce, where he reads out the court orders against
I
him.
don't know who that is.
Oh.
So did it go well, the special?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. People came out and
And can people watch it somewhere?
it's on YouTube on Nicholas Byard Comedian.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, the first joke is online.
Should we do it? Should we start off with a listener letter?
That's a good idea. That's
Okay.
a great idea.
Let's get started with a listener
You've got
letter.
one there, I think, haven't
I have.
you,
I've got
Charlie?
one here. Dear the Joke Clinic, I'm a lecturer at the University of Southampton. I worry that I am too funny in my lectures and it's starting to affect my students' learning. I'm a natural entertainer and everybody loves me, but over 80% of my class are returning a failing grade and my job is on the line. Is the answer really to tell less jokes? Surely not. They've not put a name here. Maybe they don't want their students to know.
Fair enough. Yet another joke, another letter, not from a comedian. These listener letters, our whole raison d'être is to be helping comedians.
Yep.
And I've nothing against this person, and I'm sure it's a good university and all of that. I don't know what they teach, but
So you want your response to them would be that in general we want more letters from comedians. Okay. Well, thank you, Professor. I'm sorry to hear about this, but in future, if more comedians could write in, that would be better. That would be more appropriate for
appropriate's the word, yes.
the content that we're putting out.
So you could go to some gigs if you're not too busy. It doesn't look like you're busy. Talk to some comedians, encourage them to write to us, and concentrate on your job.
Let's get to that first joke then.
Okay, the first joke is.
Can I have a snack
okay.
of some sort?
You know, carry on, Nick. Carry on.
You
Don't-
keep going.
don't mind up.
Okay.
Some hula hoops.
The first joke is online
Quite
dating.
noisy packaging, isn't it?
It is. I'll
If
go-
it's not interrupting. Is
yes,
that
I was,
right?
I was going to say
Vinegar?
salt and vinegar. Perfect.
Perfect.
Should I
I've got
continue?
some dates here as well. Actually, I've got quite a nice collection of snacks. So anyway, one at a time. Nick, carry on, mate.
Keep going.
Online dating is like.
Sometimes you have to keep going. You know, things will happen in the crowd and people will be chatting or snacking as
need to
Charlie
be
is now. But that's fun.
That's good advice, actually.
Little thing
Isn't
to
it?
do.
Yes,
That's
it is.
sweet. Oh,
Okay,
that's
well, keep going then, Nick. As Walter says, you have to sort of.
Yeah. Okay.
Because people often might have crisps
Yeah. They can be a bit rowdy,
Or
can't
hula
they?
hoops.
in a pub.
Yeah. Online dating is like the Soviet Union because the people are cold and overnight they disappear.
Okay.
So it's a history joke.
I like the online dating because that's relatable. There's a lot of that going on.
It is relatable.
It's really relatable, and relatable is such an important thing to have in your comedy. Soviet Union, not really.
No.
So I think online dating is light,
Is like
very nice.
yeah.
Soviet Union, people have lost interest.
Well, can I jump in here because I've got something that might help with this. When you said You said the people are cold and overnight, and I heard cold and overnight, and I thought overnight oats.
Yes.
Cold overnight oats. So if Soviet Union isn't relatable, why don't you replace it with overnight oats?
So relatable.
Online dating. It's like overnight oats.
Overnight oats.
Because it's cold and overnight.
I don't know if that still works now.
Well, why don't you give it a go? Let's just give it a go. Don't question too much.
Okay, online dating is like overnight oats. Because it's cold and overnight.
Yes. Blueberries, that would be a nice topper, wouldn't it? Because they're a funny fruit.
Go on then.
Online dating is like overnight oats because it's oats and overnight. Just stay away from the blueberries. I don't know if that really makes sense, but no.
Why have you introduced this element of sort of fear into the blueberries?
Stay away. What's wrong?
Or I could just say blueberries. Is that what you wanted me to do?
It is what we wanted.
Okay, shall we try it again?
Sometimes what you have to do with jokes is to take out the chaff and leave in the wheat. And in that analogy, the blueberries are the wheat.
Okay.
Not the oats.
So
shredded wheat. Sometimes you get blueberries in shredded wheat.
What, in the packet?
Does that confuse things or does it help your point?
Online dating is like overnight oats because they're oats and overnight. Blueberries.
Yes.
Excellent.
Lovely. Very nice timing.
No,
Did
brilliant.
you notice the pause?
See, he likes it.
He likes it. He's laughing. He's laughing already.
Yeah,
Lovely.
yeah.
Well, you can take that one back to Oxfordshire
That'd
or
be
wherever
good.
it is. The sunlight is sort of coming through a little bit, and it gets all over my face and makes it sort of makes me look sort of ghost-like, doesn't it? Sometimes. I don't want people at home to be concerned.
No,
so I thought maybe we might address it.
That's a really good point. So you don't need to worry about Charlie. He's fit and well. It's simply the effect of the sunlight upon his skin. Bit of clarification.
Being in the room as well, which is good for comedy to be in the room. So being in the room.
I don't quite know what he means by that.
No. Okay.
Being in the room. Where would you?
So
what are the alternatives to that?
Well, the room we're in, there's like light shining on Charlie's face. So like, so we're sort of being in the room by acknowledging that the light is making you look like a ghost. So that's
of course we're in the room.
Yeah.
Where, like you say, where else would we be?
I guess.
It's a bit of an odd one, isn't it?
Yeah.
It would be very strange if we were here, but not in the room.
No,
that wouldn't make any sense.
That's true.
So let's think a bit more carefully about what we say.
Do you do cut and paste? On your laptop.
Do I do cut and paste?
Do you do cut and paste?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yes, I do. Yes, I'm not sure I know what you mean, but yes.
Brilliant, isn't it? It's so cool.
Yeah.
Cut and paste. It's really quick as well.
Yeah.
You do it with the mouse.
If you need to take something from one place and put it in another.
Yeah.
Exactly what it's for. Yeah.
Yeah. Relatable cut and paste, isn't it? Because we all do it.
Yes.
Which do you prefer though of the two? Do you prefer the cutting or the pasting? Which is your?
Well, it's quite satisfying, isn't it, to see it disappear? So I suppose I quite like the cutting part of it.
Oh, that's quite telling actually, because I like it when it reappears.
You like
sometimes on a completely different document. It's kind of mad.
Yes, you like the other side of it. Well,
I do.
That's why we're two halves of the same whole, aren't we? It is time for our competition.
Of course.
We are doing a competition. We're doing a free giveaway. So if you, wherever you're watching this, on Instagram or YouTube or TikTok, if you comment down below with hashtag free giveaway joke clinic 2024 free, then...
Did you get that? repeat that for them, and this is all uppercase.
And make sure,
So you
yes.
keep your caps lock on for the whole thing.
Hashtag free giveaway, free, Joke Clinic 2024 free. Then now, did I say now?
No, yes,
Now.
say now on the end, yeah.
If you say that in all caps, don't say make sure it is exactly that though, otherwise it gets very confusing. And then if you include a couple of things about yourself, just a quick couple of things, then what we'll do is we'll do a live prize draw in the next episode, and we will write a very lucky viewer their own bespoke joke.
Bespoke joke. Just for you, tuned to your little world, your own little tiny little world out there.
And what should they tell us? Their favourite colour and their...
So something personal.
Something very personal to you. So hashtag free joke giveaway, Joke Clinic 2024 now free. Down below. That'll be fun, won't it?
A joke will be winging its way to you.
Excellent.
Okay, final joke. I'm left wing.
Don't say final joke.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah. The word final is not a happy word. It won't put people in a good frame of mind. Don't never use the word final anywhere, I wouldn't have said.
No.
Final joke, people thinking, now I've got to go home and face the kids or something like that. So maybe walk off the stage, say goodnight, support this gig, and then from the back shout this one, I am left wing.
Okay.
Because that will catch them unawares then.
Go on then.
Keep supporting this gig. I'm left wing, but my algorithm keeps sending me incel memes about ancient Rome. I'm left wing, but people keep telling me I have a right wing face. They're like, Nick, you look like a man who loves financial deregulation.
Right, well you've messed that up, Nick, because they couldn't see your face, could they?
No.
Yes, so you do have to be on stage for that one. That's a very good point. My concern with this is we are getting quite political now.
Yes.
And ideally I would shy away from that. Opinions can get a bit messy. But what I would say is if you absolutely do have to be political, try not to take a side.
Okay.
If you put yourself in the middle and say both sides have equal benefits and disadvantages, in some ways they're both as bad as each other. If you stick yourself in the middle, nobody can have a problem with that, can they?
No, that's a really, really good point.
So try not to take a side. If you do have to be political, don't take any sides.
No, financial deregulation, that'd be another nice thing to get in there, because you had that in where we've got it here. It's something about, and financial deregulation, well, I mean, it swings and roundabouts, isn't it? You can argue till you're blue in the face about financial deregulation.
I think that's not really the message I'm going across, though, with the joke.
What would Jesus have said about financial? Because he overturned the tables in the temple, didn't he, of the money changers?
He did.
Right.
So, but then financial deregulation is far more complex than the money in the temple, or isn't it? Is it just the same thing?
I think it is a similar thing.
Do you?
Well, do you want to talk about that? Include this in here.
Yes. So I could just talk about how the current economic crisis has its roots in the financial reforms of Margaret Thatcher. And that we should return to a more Keynesian economic system as a basis for stable growth and a more equal, affluent society.
Great.
Okay. Well.
All right. Well, I'm going to put another tick for that one.
I think Nick is beginning to find his voice.
Well, we've got some sad news now. You particularly wanted to take a moment to remember somebody who sadly has passed away.
Yeah, it is sad. Bucko Johnson. Sad, but very funny. Very funny. Very, very funny guy. Yeah, I also remember the first time I saw him was Lyme Regis, I think. He was doing a show on the seafront, 1959. Long time before your time, Charlie.
Yes.
Such a character, Bucko. Absolutely packed. He was absolutely the height of his popularity, and of course it was a mismanaged event in many ways. I mean, there weren't now, of course, at an event like that you'd have portaloos, but this was before the days of the portaloo, and the local authority they were overwhelmed, and it was a mess. Shame, really, but it was completely mismanaged from an event management point of view.
But he was good.
He was so good. I mean, you might have seen some of this because there's some of it on YouTube. I think he was well known for his balloon animals. His balloon animals. Now, a lot of people, of course, in that period were doing balloon animals. He wasn't on his own in that. But what he would do, and this was Bucko all over. He'd get people in the crowd to offer up their animals. So people would pass up their little dachshunds or little dogs. It usually was, and he would fashion these things into something that so much resembled a bunch of balloons. It was uncanny, just brilliant.
So he would sort of stretch people's pets.
Yes.
Into
yes.
Right.
Yes.
And they enjoyed that.
They loved it, and they looked for all the world like a little collection of balloons. By the time he'd finished, it was terrific. There was kickback, of course. There was the usual,
Well, it was different
nonsense.
Different time, wasn't it?
Different. It was. It was a different time. Yeah. It's an old snack. The hula hoops been around.
When did they come about?
Well, I'm not exactly sure. Not precisely, but I would say they've been. If you said 30 years, I wouldn't be surprised.
What if I said 32 years?
I would be surprised, yeah.
You'd be very surprised at that, would you?
You could do that on stage with the hula hoops, because that's very novel, that thing you do with your finger and the hula hoop.
On the fingers?
Can you do one on each finger?
Yeah.
Have you got the
dexterity?
Some fingers are fat and those, it's not going to work on your thumb. Mind you, those hula hoops look quite small. Maybe do they do them in a larger diameter?